won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches, I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime, no help from my friends. So, oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? Oh Lord.
Now, if we could have only gotten Janis Joplin to do a jingle for KHTS, I'd be set, I think, for quite some time. Carl Goldman with you here this Friday morning, 10:10 in the morning, this beautiful Friday here in Santa Clarita. And it's my pleasure right now to introduce Lenny Sage, who's the owner of Mercedes Benz of Valencia. Lenny has been here a number of times before, and it's always exciting to have Lenny here because, first of all, he never knows what we're going to be delving into, so we always get to surprise him. But today, as you're driving around town today, if you are thinking about purchasing a car, we are going to share, actually reveal 5 things not to say to Lenny when buying a car, but not to say to any dealer when buying a car. We're gonna be talking about the top 5 things not to say when buying a car. So there's some good prep information. And this is based, actually we did an internet search, Lenny, and this is based on something that a automotive specialist named Sam Foley, who does a lot of writing on automobiles, has come up with. But as I read through it, and we'll start with his this is kind of like the Letterman countdown, his number 5 thing not to say to a dealer is, honey, what do you think? And as I'm reading through a lot of this is real. A lot of this stuff is the dealers of old. And I thought before I ask you to answer, honey, what do you think? Maybe you can talk about what people right now, what the changes in the attitude of dealers, not just at Mercedes-Benz, but all up and down Creekside here in Santa Clarita.
Well, thanks for having me again, Carl. I love coming in, and it is a beautiful day in Santa Clarita. It's amazing how we could have such incredible weather. It's great weather to do just about anything, including buying a car. But you know, the honey, what do you think comment, that's an interesting one because you mentioned old school philosophy. I think there was a time where, you know, the conquer and, you know, divide and conquer idea probably was an effective strategy for some salespeople, but I don't really agree with it. I mean, quite frankly, I think, you know, our smoothest transactions, and that's what we always try to do. We always try to have a quick and smooth transaction. Those are the transactions where our clients are the happiest. When we have, honey, what do you think? And I could see the narrative about this divide and conquer idea is an advantage to the dealer.
And when you're saying divide and conquer, that's mean get the wife on one side and the husband on the other?
Exactly, yeah. And I think when I'm reading this narrative, it says, you know, when you have a divided front, then it allows the salesperson to focus on placating the person who's in favor, you know, of the purchase, opposed to the person who's more skeptical about proceeding with the purchase. So, and I don't think that I don't think that that's a really good strategy, and I don't think it's a really good way to set up a transaction from a purely customer service point of view. Because you want both people happy at the end of the day. You want both people to be to get in this euphoric state of enjoyment about the whole purchase experience. That's when it works. When both people are happy, or the whole family's happy. That's when it works the best for us, because we have a far more favorably emotionally charged family involved in the entire purchase, opposed to having to placate to the one who's really involved and get the one who's really involved and really happy to try to bring the one who's more skeptical involved. So I like it when they both look at each other and said, "This is great." You know?
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is, because I think at the end of the day, I mean, people generally forget what they pay for a car, Carl. You know, if they got a bad deal going in, you know, that taste may stay in their mouth for a long time. But the fact of the matter is, you know, a good deal is one where you feel as if it was a fair deal. You know, both people walk away happy, and you have the next 3, 5, 6 years of enjoying that vehicle without having to worry about, you know, oh, my wife didn't like the car when I got it, or my husband didn't like the car when I got it, or the kids didn't like the car when I got it, and they had to, you know, convince each other that this was a good deal. Those aren't the best deals, and we don't really look forward to that. So I don't really agree with that concept about the honey. What do you think as far as being a something that a consumer wouldn't want to say? If I heard that, I would want to figure out a way to get them both on the same page.
And in this day and age, are you seeing more and more couples coming in? Then how has that changed over the years?
That's a good question. I think the experience now is more of a family process opposed to how it may have been 10 years ago. Now I think 30 years ago, it was always a family process. I think culturally, we see more families get involved in the buying process. From demographically, certain cultures, it's more of a family, making a big purchase, a big financial decision. It becomes more of a family process. But I think that seems to be changing a little bit, and it's evolving more towards across all demographic lines where we're seeing more families come in and make joint purchases, because I think it's a big purchase, and especially coming out of a recession, I think people are really more concerned about making these family decisions with their money rather than unilateral decisions. And so the answer to your question is we have less people coming back with their cars that they just purchased saying, you know what, my wife wants me to bring the car back, or my husband wants me to bring the car back.
So that's a good thing. AM 1220 KHTS, we're chatting with Lenny Sage, owner of Mercedes Benz of Valencia, running through, revealing the 5 things not to say when buying a car. We've just been talking about number 5, honey, what do you think? And this day and age, as we're talking about the different demographics and who's coming in, this day and age, people are coming in much more informed. With the internet now, you can pretty much handpick what you want and have all your questions answered before you even step foot inside the dealership. So has that changed the dynamics?
Absolutely. I think, and it's good for us, because I think the old school, if we want to talk, difference old school, new school. The old school is you wanted your consumer to come in completely disarmed. He didn't have any information about what he should be paying or about what he really wanted. And then we had the opportunity to show him what we wanted to show him. And we had the opportunity to present the numbers that we wanted to present to him, to that particular that client. But now what's happening is you're starting to see consumers come in and they're extraordinarily well armed with information. You can get, and this is what I tell people, if people call me and they want to buy a car and it's a brand that I don't sell, I said this is what I would do. I would go online, I'd find the 3 closest dealers to me who represent that particular brand, and I would send them a request for a quote on precisely what you want. Build the vehicle online, which just about every manufacturer's website you can do. Build the exact vehicle you want online. Now, there's a caution there. Just because you build it online doesn't mean the car's available, and that's what a lot of people, they lose that they lose the process that they wanted to pursue because they build a car and then they lose flexibility because that's the only car they want, and the car just may not be available. It may not be available because the manufacturer never built it. But have some flexibility. Build a car online. Have some flexibility. Know what the not just what the base price of the vehicle is, but know what the options cost on the car that you want. Know the color that you want. Know the interior you want. Know whether you want leather. You don't want leather. Know whether you want navigation. You don't want navigation. And build a car to precisely what you want with some degree of variance based upon the availability of that exact car. And then once you have a really good idea of what you want, then send that request to 3 dealers, the 3 closest dealers that represent the product. And you're going to get 3 prices back. Some may get back to you really quickly. Some may take a day to get back to you. But you'll end up getting 3 prices back. And that's when you're going to make your decision. So I think the internet is an incredible tool. I think it definitely serves to the advantage of consumers. It gives them an opportunity to be well armed, because quite frankly, in any negotiation, in any transaction, you want to be on equal footing with the person you're negotiating with, and the information gives you that equal footing.
Wise advice coming from Lenny Sage here on AM 1220 KHTS. We're going to take a short break, find out in a minute what the number 4 thing not to say to when going out and buying a car. We'll be talking about that right after this.